options. So when you're getting your bachelor's in social work, you're eligible to apply for an accelerated program, advanced standing. So you get that MSW in a year. So you are slated to graduate in May as
I'm
a
still
senior.
I'm fresh too.
Okay, so when you are a senior and you graduate that May, and you choose to come to Miami for the advanced standing program, you will begin your classes that summer.
Probably a couple days later.
Yes, yes. If you're interested in the traditional program, the 2-year program, then you would just begin your programming that fall. So you graduate, you breathe, you wake up, it's fall, and it's time for class. So specifically, our school-based mental health MSW program, how many of you are interested in supporting young people in schools? When you think about how many of you would just like more information about that? Okay, so Central State Day, we will talk to you about that specific program and our traditional MSW program. So Dr. Curl is the MSW director over our traditional program, and she is what we call, in scientific terms, the principal investigator of this grant. So she is the bones, and she's the one who spent countless hours, making sure that we could receive this grant. So I don't know if you want to take a moment.
I just say, I'm over the traditional program, the 2-year program. Also, I'm over the advanced standing program. And I can answer any questions you have about the curriculum, about how the internships go. Like you do internships for your undergrad, you do internships for the master's program. And this school-based mental health program offers tuition and scholarships and stipends for 2 of the 3 semesters for advanced standing. So the second and third semester, there's funding, and it's $8,500 per semester for 2 semesters. We also have, for people who are currently seniors, I don't know if there's anybody in the room, probably not, but there's temporarily, and it could be extended, funding through the Great Minds program, and we also have a behavioral workforce grant. So those are, the Great Minds is for community-based, so some of our students are getting money from Great Minds, which helps pay for the first semester, plus then the money from the second and third semesters. But it's a great deal. It means 70% of the cost of getting a master's degree from Miami.
And what's pretty cool about our master's program is that we cater to like adult learners or learners who have other responsibilities. So our classes are beginning at 4, and they can go as long as 9:40. We have a hybrid model, meaning that we meet in person 1 week. Then the next week you have assigned tasks, whether that's individual work or work with groups that there are a few classes that are completely online, but the bulk of our classes are in person, but they have the hybrid model. So when it's time for you to do your internship, you can do your internship during the day and then come to class in the evening.
And there's also opportunities to do internships at places of employment. So sometimes people will apply for places of employment and work it out so that they can do both, which is really exciting.
Then another just opportunity, we hold classes in Middletown, Ohio, which is in between Dayton and Cincinnati. And students prefer that campus because parking is amazing. You literally pull up and you don't have to fight like you would perhaps have to fight at Oxford's campus. However, if you're interested in pursuing classes at Oxford, you have that option too. So you have both locations to choose from. So are there any other questions?
We do offer classes on the Oxford campus if you want the Oxford campus. But like Professor Pope says, parking is so much easier on the Middletown campus, so a lot of our students choose that one. But it's up to you. We offer every semester, students get a chance to choose whether they want the Oxford campus or the Middletown campus.
And so we're really looking to build this partnership with Central State. So I want you all to get used to our faces. We want to come on campus to initiate this relationship so that attending Miami is a viable choice, an option. You have access to faculty where you can ask questions, but you already have a head start of building that relationship with us. And so, we're looking to plan things throughout this semester, so that you don't feel like you're just popping in. You know, I want you to feel like, this is the beginning of a beautiful partnership with Miami University. So I do have the QR kit. So if I pull up my phone, could they take a picture? Because I think there were a lot of people here that said they was gonna come. So I'm gonna hold y'all to that. I'm gonna get
I
my
could draw the
phone.
QR code
Now-
on the chalkboard. I would love to see
It's a
that.
scan. I don't know if I can.
Okay.
So
I'll let you
here's
get
the
it.
thing.
Yeah, it's on the flyer.
After today, we're actually coming back on campus tomorrow to talk to other students. And so after tomorrow, we'll know if we're gonna do a bus, if we have enough students for a bus, or we're gonna do a van. If we do the van, I'm driving, right? But if we do the bus, I'm not.
This extra,
Right.
what's up?
So we will have specific information on where the pickup is. We'll get you to Oxford and we'll bring you back to, Central State.
Any
So if you
snacks?
want,
Snacks and
Okay.
food, lunch and dinner.
all provided, and the basketball.
And the basketball game. And
Oh.
so then the other thing, so we have several student organizations, and so we are trying to confirm just those representatives to come in front of you to talk about what campus life is like for graduate students, so you can, you know, connect to your people, to your tribe well before you get to campus. We'll have admissions and just other people just giving you a snapshot, because what we're hoping is that this transition is seamless, right? Hoping that you have all the information that you need to make an informed decision, and that we will see you in Miami soon, right? Okay, so let me pull up this QR code.
And it's also, if you want to type out the letters, on the bottom of the Central State Day, it says to sign up here. Yes.
Okay, so on the form it says bus pickup is at 7, but on the flyer it says 8.
It's 8. We changed it because we thought 7 was really early. So we changed it, and bus return is at 9 p.m., by 9 p.m.
Okay, thank you.
So, it's also, the bus driver can't drive more than a certain number of hours. Yes.
Okay, so since Miami even went to 2 years or at a high need school, is that only levels like in Hamilton City School
You interested?
District? Or is
You already
it?
did.
I
Is
think it was a Hamilton area, but
No,
technically it's not. And if it doesn't, you get.
So like, would like Cincinnati public schools? be
In
able
fact, we're trying to expand it, that's nice. So, yes. Oh, sorry. And then, so we use the rolling admission process for priority consideration, it's like April 1st. But we're still accepting applications for the master's program, and it's separate applications for the MSW program.
so it's not working. Did it work for anyone?
I'm so sorry, but I didn't have a chance to test that.
So do you think this first one will work?
It might, but I would just type in the link that's on the letters that are on the bottom of here.
No. Okay, sorry about that. I'll type it up.
I am so sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, is this?
No, this is.
That's something
This is
different. That's if you're
for,
interested.
That's what.
Other questions? I know it's the beginning of the semester. I'm hoping that that'll be a good time. You don't have finals and
True.
midterm papers due yet. I know it's crazy. You're still trying to, figure out what every class has. I think everybody has this. Okay, so it's Monday, expenses are covered, great time to spend time with each other as well as with us.
Do those buses have chargers nowadays?
Chargers?
I
think-
Well, I mean like a USB port. I just.
Right, it
Yeah,
depends
I'm
on the
not
bus.
sure.
I know.
Right. The bus is
Yeah.
coming from Columbus. If we do the bus, if we do a van, then.
Oh, this is really long. So
Yeah.
I'm like, it's still more to type on the second line.
Yes.
So y'all good? Those who are interested? Okay.
Please sign up, try to sign up by tomorrow at the latest, because tomorrow is when we're making the decision about which transportation method to go with. So we would love to have you. We can-
Yeah, and you know, if you have other plans for that day, just know that we'll be on campus and we'll make ourselves available. So both of our email addresses are up there. Please take our information down. I'm willing to come on campus. I'm willing to Zoom. I live in Dayton, actually. So I don't live in Oxford. So whatever your needs are, as far as having access to faculty from Miami, I will definitely make myself available.
And if you all are able to send us the list of names as they come in,
Absolutely.
we have to do our request for travel on our end.
Okay.
That slip.
So Friday, we will get it to you.
Okay.
Tomorrow's Friday.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's Friday in Asia right now, so.
Yeah. So any questions? And then moving forward, so after we experience Central State Day, our hope is to come back together to talk about what you all enjoy, what maybe we should not include next time, so that you have some investment in this process, and you have some say to make sure we're getting you what you need for you to make a decision about coming to Miami or not. That means a lot to us. This first time we just had to kind of figure something out, but moving forward, we want this to be your day as well. So we want your voice and your needs and desires heard and centered, and we will do our best to make sure we adhere to that. So thank y'all for letting us come in and talk to y'all. And yeah, so everyone in here, you're all the social work majors. Okay, so ready to change the world on the other end of this degree? Okay, how many of you are interested in working with children? So in a school setting, in a hospital setting, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking? Counseling. Anyone interested in older adults? So that's Dr. Crow's, like, her area of expertise. Okay. Well, we won't hold y'all up.
I do have a fun fact though.
Okay.
I don't know if you know, but the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics says that 60% of mental health services are provided by clinically trained social workers. And I just think that that is really cool, and a lot of people don't know that. So I'm never saying that in terms of if you're interested in counseling or mental health therapy, then social work is. And it gives you a great opportunity for a lot of different fields, like children and older adults and criminal justice and education. Yes.
I'm currently signed up for a program, the UPP program for child welfare, and for after I graduate, I have to continue to work with them for a year, but I'm very good at working 2 years in my high school. That's what I'm
Are you planning on working in UPP, the child welfare,
Yeah.
while you're a master's student? Because sometimes people are doing that. Well, you could complete your 1 year work requirement at UPP while you're a master's student, if you want.
And
So
then
that's one option.
the other thing, so when we were awarded the grants, the Department of Education was specific saying that students had to complete their work experience in the schools that we've highlighted, but we've since learned that it's broadened. And the hope is that you're just giving back and going back and completing your service in schools. So like if you live somewhere outside of Ohio and you're really interested in becoming a school-based mental health professional, you can still take advantage of this grant and then go home and support your community.
And if you're an out-of-state student, there's no difference in price for out-of-state versus in-state. So it's really.
it wouldn't conflict with like the working schedule or the grants or anything like that.
Cause she was saying, cause UPP, she's gonna get a grant stipend from UPP, so she was saying, will that grant conflict with this grant?
So like double dipping.
Your,
Only great minds, as far as I've been told.
So you
Conflict.
can double dip.
On UPP and Great Minds, you cannot double dip. You guys also have the UPP program. But I'm guessing your grant would be okay if those are both state of
With the
Ohio.
mental
This sounds federal.
I would assume that your UPP funding is while you're here in Central State. So then there would be double when you're a master's student. So that it's a different thing.
And some of them have to work 12 months right at the BSW graduation. And it sounds like a lot of your courses are at either 4 or 5 p.m. and then also 6 or 7
Yes. So
after work.
4 to 6:40 and 7 to 9.
And if my understanding is it's a year We can have a conversation about it,
Absolutely.
absolutely. We have DPP students as well, but we don't have DPP in this program.
That's a good question.
And you're
Is you-
lucky that UPP covers tuition and stipends. For us, it just covers a signing bonus.
I think it is the signing bonus. You dedicate 1 year, and some folks do also do their MSW while they're working at Child and Family Services.
Because there's a different stipend that they're eligible for. So I'm looking into the winners of your souls to see if you have any additional questions, and hopefully you feel in my magic that Miami is a good place for you, or at least for you to come and check us out. You know, it doesn't hurt. You don't have to make a decision. We're not gonna ask you to put your blood on it, but at least experience the campus, and that way you can make an informed decision about furthering your education. Thank you. So hopefully I'll see a lot of you, Central State Day, and if it's by van, I'm the driver. If not, we'll see you on campus, by way of the charter bus. I was just
HBSE.
have a good rest of your class.
Human behavior.
And I have a card that I want to take a picture.
See y'all later.
Some of your classes are here right now?
I want to live stream our class.
Hi, live stream.
We do have a viewer.
Come do it, Keisha. I said come do it.
Anybody have a cord to connect to the TV? If not, I'll go get it. Yeah, maybe I do have one. Okay. What do you guys think? I actually taught there for 2 years. It was a good program. I taught there for 2 years in like 2017. I can't believe it's already been 7 years. 7 years, year olds. Let's see here. Does it sound good, fun, or scary because it's graduate school? It is nice they're recruiting so early now. Like I never thought they'd start this early. Gotta work. Oh my goodness. Okay. What do you all think about the and you can give on
as much information as possible for the next few years, so.
right.
attending every
No, it
social
is.
work.
It's a good deal because I never knew this when somebody talked me into social work. I was a psych graduate, and they're like, "What are you even doing in psychology? You need to get your master's in social work, and if you don't, you are going to make a big mistake." And I thought that seemed dramatic at the time, but it turned out that right now, are there any juniors in this class by chance?
Alexa.
Did you get the great minds?
She was just telling me that I need to actually look in my
Nikita said that.
balance.
So you signed up. You didn't. Okay. So, random fact: the state of Ohio gave us, for juniors and seniors, that's why I want to make sure I didn't miss any of you, $300,000 to have our juniors and seniors finish their education this year. And next, so, and it was spread out over like what's that?
When does the fund actually disperse?
Are you a junior or a senior?
Yeah.
Did you sign up for it and do?
did the whole process.
So it's supposed to be inside of your account as if it was a student loan currently.
For the
Yeah, she said that you need to go check in like your nil net balance. And then she said if not to email her or you. That's she.
Oh, just say
Yeah.
it to me. I've been definitely name and signature. So is today January still?
The 18th.
1/18. Is it still 2024? Name, sign. Okay. Because they want to try to also take your student loans if you don't sign this sheet. You would think a pink highlighter sheet is not that important, but this is it. They will take your money. Anybody with student loans, as I did, and if you don't sign it, they are.
What are we signing this for?
It's attendance. But like for example, when we report attendance, have you guys ever had that? They basically drop you from the damn class. It's connected to your student loans, which was always strange to me. It felt like people were tracking me, and I guess you finished successfully 2 out of 3 classes a semester, or federal student loans disappear. And I had that happen once. Luckily, the teacher who gave me the incomplete responded to emails. You ever have a teacher not respond to emails?
Yes.
So she responded and wrote the letter to the feds or whoever it was and said my incomplete was, we got a year. I know you guys only get 6 weeks, right, for incompletes. So if you take it incomplete, it is an option. They want you to be done with about 2/3 of the class to get it. If you got COVID, if you had something come up, and then you finish it within 6 weeks of the next semester. So if you don't finish 2/3 of your class, they also take your student loans. That was weird. So if you got 3 classes and you withdraw from 1, I always wondered if I withdraw from 1 out of 3, is that okay? Or is it 1 out of 4? Well, there's several different weird ways that they take away your student loans, which kind of sucks. Makes me feel sad. But in graduate school, the scary thing is you get approximately $21,000 a year to pay for grad school and student loans. So usually about $10,500 each semester. Back then, tuition would have been less, but you could often take that, pay tuition, and then pay rent with the rest of it. I don't know if you can do that anymore. I think rent is, how much is rent? How much do you all pay for rent? What's the average rent price? Or dorms?
Dorms
Is it?
Is dorms is $2,400.
For 3 months or 4 months?
Oh, okay.
Oh, like the semester.
Or the whole year? Okay, so a semester, 4 or 5
It's
months. This,
Or it's something.
and that's not even
That's where the
food.
bulk of the price comes from.
That's not food, right? The food is also separate if you buy a meal plan. Okay. So do they still do carte blanche? You can eat all that you want to eat.
Yeah, while you're in there.
Okay. No to-go boxes. What's that?
I said that little woman is in your head.
I've seen her run down.
But you got the wrong thing.
What you mean by weight? You got to pay again. You want to take something else? You said you could.
They weigh it. They weigh it, dude.
Oh, I see.
They weigh it like it's an Indian restaurant. You ever eat at an Indian restaurant? And they weigh it, and it's $5 a pound at Indian restaurants. I love Indian food, but I've learned to not get the super heavy, saucy fried foods, and it weighs less. And then over here, I would just get a pound of spinach and then bring my own dressing and pay less. But they weigh it for real. Has anybody had to weigh their food?
Mac and cheese.
So it's funny. All right. Any questions about syllabuses, syllabi, or is it syllabuses or syllabi?
So that sounds right. Yeah.
Because then is it campuses or campi? I don't know. The syllabus? I did. People helped me find it last time. if you want to try it. Usually you go to content.
Yes.
I'm
You
not
gotta
certified.
spell crazy. Go down.
Mine, I'm not certified to teach online.
It's, go up right there.
Oh, Silhuspeed. Oh, so HBSE is human behavior in the social environment. In grad school, you have to take this class. But if you got your BSW here, you do not have to take this class in grad school. So this is one of them that in grad school, you skip with advanced standing graduate school. So they will, it sounds like, did they have a GPA minimum requirement on any of the forms they gave you?
No.
Nothing. I feel like it's got to be a 3.0 or a 2.
There probably is one.
Right. Well, I don't think they want to scare us off.
Or
'cause-
usually it's like you have a certain GPA with classes that were associated.
Oh,
like
like a
your
social
major.
work. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Right.
know that's how it is at UC and Ohio State.
Right. Okay. Ohio State requires 41 hours to get an advanced standing MSW, and Miami and UC require 34 hours for an advanced standing MSW. It's 9 hours less. And that's a lot, because if you're paying 700 credit hour for 9 hours less,
That's.
700 credit hours. seems
6,300.
credit, I'm looking at the paper and I'm like, oh my goodness.
Does it say
big. 2
700
credit
credit
hours
hours?
and then how much
Yes.
tuition.
So I multiplied that by 26 and it was like
Where does it look?
19,500.
Where is it? Which paper is that on? Now I'm curious. I love looking
Yeah,
at
it's
math and
700.
numbers and price, because so 34 times 700 is at least $23,000, you said? Right?
You said 34.
Did I? 34 hours
23,000.
times 700. 23 flat?
23,800.
All right.
Maybe.
It sounds like they pay your spring and fall, but they don't cover summer.
Mm-hmm.
But great mind, which some of you got. It sounds like, how many are juniors here to graduate? 1, 2, 3. Are you a junior? No. So 2 of you? Is it just, no, that's okay.
I'm a sophomore, but I signed up. She told me to sign up for it, so I signed up for it.
Well, so here's the catch. If you're a sophomore and you still could graduate in 2025, that's how I would fix the loophole.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like if you could take enough in the summertime, you got 2 summers between now and then, you would graduate in 3.5 years. So I would consider you a junior. That's the loophole. You know what I mean? Like these grants are insane though. And then they tell you to ask me about it. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, she's like,
They always say that. And I say, email Nikita. And she says, email John. I say, email Nikita. We'll figure it out for you guys. Because the other one, they also want us to teach you how people get pregnant. And I feel like you guys already know.
Yeah.
But there's details in between. I was mentioning, and before I jump off on this, we were saying assessing expectant parents. So like, I started working at Claremont Recovery Center in 2007. And as a social worker, you want to see how they're going to provide for the child and what resources can we get for them. Not that we're looking to take the kids. How many folks in here have heard social workers only take the kids? And how often have you heard that? You know what I'm saying? Like that's all you ever hear about social workers. Like, which there is some truth to. If there's an unsafe situation, they try to temporarily get mom and dad in rehab or kid safety until maybe they finish their recovery or term in life. So there is truth to that. Social workers also main purpose is reunification of families. So like we're aiming to reunify the family. And we were talking about no matter how messed up our family was upbringing, we all bring that with us to the table. That does go into our psychological formation, our attachments, how we behave in like relationships, how we go off on our friends, how we're kind and loving or an asshole or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So like all the experiences you had combined growing up, the neighborhood you were born into, the schools that you went into, the recession or pandemics you lived through. I mean, that right there was one of the largest global traumas I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't know if we've ever seen anything like that. Did they make school easier for you, at least in high school when you were in the pandemic? Was it easy as hell, or was it harder? It was harder?
It was hard because it was hard for me because I don't do well, like trying to teach myself.
Computers.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and that's partly why we even ask for your first year or two to not do online classes here. Because we get that, you know what I mean? I took an online class in 2001 and I got like the worst grade I've ever gotten. It was the first year Blackboard had come out, which is like guys have is 2L. And it didn't work great. The internet would go out. We had dial-up. It was horrendous. But, you know, I never took another online class. So I tell you guys, I will speak from whatever experience I have with this because I don't know a lot about childbirth, but we had 3 kids in the last 2.5 years. And we're going to have a 4th, which would be 4 and 4.25 years. So I had them at 42, 43, 44, and 46. And this, I feel like right now we are in this spot. So we mentioned like, if you get fertilized, there's only 10 days you can get pregnant. And that's because sperm lives like 7, I've been told. So there's 20 days you won't. And that's why it's something to understand the difference. I never knew when somebody said they were 4 weeks pregnant, they'd only actually been fertilized for 2 weeks. I didn't know that. You know what I mean? I'm a man. I don't pay attention to stuff as much as I should. And so my wife is like 5 or 6 weeks that it's likely maybe like Christmas. She wanted a 4th. She thinks it'll be a girl. I told her if it's a boy, you're going to probably want another girl. She's like, yeah. So who knows? But you don't want this to attach. You start dividing immediately, 2 cells in 36 hours, 4 cells, 16 to 32 cells. And then if it stopped and attached here, that's extremely dangerous. You know what I mean? If you get like, there's what's called ectopic, and you can die. So that's why like a lot of people talk about the importance of keeping an eye on it. And you'll have pain. So like you'll know, because if something's dividing 4 cells in 48 hours and 16 to 32, like another day and a half later. But ideally it attaches here. The woman's body, there's both estrogen and progesterone. And it's the progesterone that spikes that tells you you're pregnant. And like it'll tell you not to shed your uterine lining, which is what the period is. If you're older and you have less progesterone, in our case, because she'll be 38 next month. Sometimes you have to take progesterone shots to tell your body you're pregnant. Otherwise, you will lose everything and shedding your entire uterine lining. So it implants. There's a lot of stages of prenatal development. Do we say that the first poop the baby takes shows 7 months of a drug test for like the hospital when they test that? The first poop is like a black tar poop that the baby had, diaper or whatever it is. That's times when Child Protective Services could get involved with a social worker. If there's heroin, fentanyl, or I had kids at Claremont Recovery Center, like teenagers, and it was weed back then. Now it's legal. I'm not sure what they're going to do with it being legal now. But they often, if they were on probation, I would see them at juvenile detention center as their social worker. They're trying to get through a program of recovery. And sometimes the kids, they try to place it with the family first. I don't know if people know that. Like they do try if there's a mom or a dad that can care for it. So you got an embryo, and there it is. So at 2 to 7 weeks, as they measure your pregnancy from your last period. And obviously you don't ovulate until 2 weeks after your period. So you're not pregnant until week 2. I guess there's never anybody that tells you I'm 1 week pregnant. I never thought about that. They usually say like you find out 3, 4, 5 often. So it's just an embryo for those 2 to 7 weeks, but it's 90% formed. You've got all the basic structures. There's a critical period where the embryo is most vulnerable to the environment. So I know we're in this right now. This is where probably 90% of your miscarriages happen, just because it's like any little thing can set it off. It could be even like stress. So there's been a lot of research on how stress affects pregnancies and the womb. There was a couple. So there's 2 movies I show. I always try to connect something back to a movie. So if you hate movies, I apologize. There's one called, I like to show both sides of every argument if there is an argument. I think it was like This Is Jane. Anybody ever heard of that one? Videos, it's probably called something else. And then there's also, maybe it was called Call Jane. There was another one that was called, I'll show you this one first. Then my brain catch up with my.
Mrs. Griffin, your pregnancy is endangering life. What's the treatment to not be pregnant? You can ask the board for permission to perform an emergency termination. Is there a chance that she could survive the pregnancy? Maybe 50%. Holding on the birth of a healthy child.
I'm right here.
I don't know, gentlemen. No.
This is Jane.
How does it work?
Joy?
Yes, it is. No, this is not a taxi. You sit up front with me.
You're going to rest for a few hours.
Which one of you is Jane?
We're all Jane. We have organizing meetings. That's the address.
How are we gonna get through them all? This 11-year-old girl deserves it.
Well, this lady has cancer.
She was raped. It has to be random.
It's life or death for some of them. It's life or death for all of them.
Amen.
Our cousin. Take a deep breath.
You got a knack for this. Could have been a nurse.
Could have been a doctor. We are entirely dependent on one man. We can't call joy is economic. Economics always seems to me that that's when we get screwed.
Stand up. Tell me how you ladies came to be. My wife's name is Joy. You told me that. You want to end up in prison?
I will answer any questions. I don't want to know.
We have something that works. We are abuse. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it works. I'm not scared of jail. I'm scared there won't be anyone left to answer the phone.
I have to go back. Let's get to work.
Then there was another one. My brain is still not catching up with me. Let me search it here fast.
I love the name. Of course I remember the name.
Didn't tell anybody what the name was.
100% told me the name.
Bet you $1 that you don't know.
Prepare to be out of $1 million, dude.
So have you guys, any of you ever seen that? Or that? All right, I found out the other one. Are you able to understand what it might have been about? Okay. So, what's that?
Choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of mind blowing. I think there's a committee and they were deciding whether they should, she should have a choice to live or die.
Right. Yes. Yes. And so then there was, these are both true stories, which was strange, like there's
Abby Johnson is in the other room.
Here.
Our first order of business is to present Planned Parenthood's Employee of the Year Award. Abby Johnson.
This is Abby, she's volunteer escort. Abby, this is Cheryl Alessandro.
I'd be the youngest director in Planned Parenthood history. You'll actually be in charge of the abortions at your clinic. I have a chance to make a real difference.
No matter what you do for the rest of your life, you're still gonna be a baby killer.
The only thing that's changed is you, Abby. You even hear yourself talk right now about these procedures? These are little babies.
I'm not going to apologize for doing a job that helps women in crisis. There's still part of me that isn't sure. I know. But the one thing that all experts agree on is that at this stage, the fetus can't feel anything. Sorry to bother you, but they need an extra person in the back room. Are you free? I saw it. It was twisting and fighting for its life.
We commit in the souls of these hundreds of children. And Lord, we pray to end abortion.
I really appreciate what you've done for us. I'll not forget it.
22,000 abortions. How do I even comprehend that?
Rough day at the office.
Say that.
It's your dad and me. You are a baby from the moment of conception.
We are paying you to be a perfect instrument of corporate policy. We are an abortion provider.
I can't ignore this anymore. Everything that they've told us is a lie.
Don't underestimate the repercussions of this. You gotta be careful.
Rhonda, please, don't do it! Rhonda! Let me tell you what's gonna happen if you walk through that door.
Congratulations. You've made an enemy of one of the most powerful organizations on the planet.
So I think it actually, that one, it says March 29th. I think that's the trailer from like years ago. So that's the other side, where they certainly, we're seeing it like in the Supreme Court, now state by state. So what the Supreme Court did, I think it was about a year and a half ago, is give that back to the states. So the states are going every different direction with that. Some say it has to be at 7 weeks because they detect noise at like 6 or 7 weeks. Others, maybe the first would be Mississippi and Alabama. The others are like New York, where they would allow it up to 40 weeks. 40 weeks, again, means that you had been pregnant for 38. So that would be like 9.5 months. And often, people joke like the baby's overcooked by then. Well, they get big, like they gain a pound every week at the end. It's like a pound a week towards the end. So if you're at 7.5, 8.5 pounds and you went over to 41 weeks, you have a 9.5 pound baby. It is big. So they'll induce you. So they want to have the pregnancy at, they even give these details. So refinement and growth of the basic structures. In the last 2 months, they store a lot of fat. At 24 weeks, it has a chance of survival outside the womb. This book is a little old, so I think those stats have gotten to, it's more at like 20 or 21 weeks. They keep viability outside the womb. A term pregnancy is 37 weeks. So again, there you would be 35 weeks pregnant. At 36, that is 9 months pregnant. So they do think that we couldn't get induced. In fact, a year ago at this time, we got induced on New Year's Eve at 2 a.m. So we call our last baby the tax baby. They let you write off the whole year of the baby, even if you have it, on December 31st, 2022. So we're a family of 5 for all of 2022. But it was because it was 39. They won't induce before like 39 usually, because your lungs are being formed and